In the age of artificial intelligence, creativity is taking on a whole new meaning. With algorithms that can generate art, music, and writing, we're seeing a shift in the way we think about content creation and ownership. As the lines between human and machine-made content continue to blur, questions arise around who owns these creations and who should profit from them. In this video essay, we'll explore the world of AI content creation and ownership, from the cutting-edge technology being used to create it to the legal and ethical issues surrounding its use. AI content creation is changing the way we think about art, music, and writing, but who owns these creations? And what are the legal implications of future creativity? Join us as we delve into the fascinating world of AI content creation and... I didn't write any of that. ChatGPT did. On top of this, the music beneath it was AI generated as well. Without running my script through a ChatGPT filter, there's no conceivable way for that to have been abundantly evident. When perusing the web for different generative options, I came across not only an automated interface for practically any type of media, but also generative for text, music, photo, video, animation, and the list goes on. And though some are blocked by paywalls, most are entirely accessible by a basic Google search. This begs the question, if the only thing in this video is my voice, do I even own it? To best understand the relationship between AI and ownership, we must also understand the relationship between AI and humans. In 1950, Alan Turing investigated the emerging intelligence of machines by comparing them to the mind of humans, in an examination we now call the Turing test. Through these efforts, Turing aimed to determine whether or not machines could think.
Imagine a game with 3 players. One player, the interrogator, is isolated from the other 2 players, one of whom is human and one of whom is a computer. The interrogator's job is to try and figure out which is the human and which is the computer by asking questions of both. To make things harder, the computer is trying to make the interrogator guess wrongly. In other words, it's trying to be as indistinguishable from a human as possible.
Thus, the science behind artificial intelligence was directed to better understanding and replicating the faculties of the human mind, and to ultimately simulate human intelligence. Given the current state of computing, AI has grown to resemble Markov chains. In this way, new content is produced only in relation to what already exists in the present, and is not all affected by external conditions in the past. This can be evidenced by NLPs, or natural language processing, which are types of software that generate text. This can include predictive text and software with messaging or emailing, or even the aforementioned ChatGPT. In both cases, Markov chains are used to replicate human speech patterns by predicting the words in a sentence based on the previous words. This predictive, reason-based Markov model can best understand how AI creates content that resembles that of a human, yet simultaneously fails to take into account factors that humans might consider basic.
Imagine an AI is like you, but trapped in a museum from birth. All the machine has to learn from are the pictures and the little placards on the side. Apple, a red apple on a brown table. That's like the images it sees from the web and the descriptions that go with them. It's similar to how you learn, but locked in that museum. If you want to understand an apple, you can rotate it in your hand. You can watch it whenever you want. If AI wants to understand an apple, it has to find another picture of an apple in the museum.
Another lens to better view the intelligence behind artificial intelligence can come from understanding generative adversarial networks, or GANs. Instead of just analyzing one specific string of information, GANs are comprised of a generator and discriminator network to best sift out varying results from content that better resembles humans. The first neural network, the generator, creates the content, which is similarly based in patterns from a dataset, which is then judged by a discriminator. If it can spot the difference between originals and a new sample, it sends it back and is tweaked to make a more original sample, thus improving the quality of the results. In these varying models for AI, content is produced in an infinite feedback loop of checks and balances. Simultaneously, these productions can only be created by being compared to what already exists, and therefore is already owned by someone else. When trying to derive ownership of an AI creation, which source is most accurate? The creator of the content that the content is based from, the person who assigned the machine to create the content, the programmer of the machine itself, etc. If copyright and ownership requires original ideas in a fixed tangible medium, these questions explain why Turing's psychological examination of machines is still relevant today. With music, these notions get even more complicated. due to the complexity of record labels and licensing. For example, let's talk about the now viral Heart on My Sleeve by TikTok user Ghostwriter. In this case, though the song is original, the vocals are ripped from Drake and The Weeknd, and even includes a tagline from Metro Boomin. This one's far more complicated, because although Drake's label, Universal Music Group, was able to swiftly take down most traces of the song, it isn't technically infringing on any current copyright laws. Using fragments from previous songs in your works is most similar to sampling, which, depending on how creatively and constructively the original work is used, can be considered under fair use. However, at the same time, replicating an artist's voice also tails the line of misrepresentation of the artist. Again, the main reason Heart on My Sleeve went so viral wasn't thanks to Ghostwriter. It was because of the prior fame of Drake and The Weeknd. In these modern debates, beyond just creativity, attribution becomes an integral part of the discussion of ownership. With songs like Heart on My Sleeve, the more oral and technological sources go into production, the harder it is to derive who should be paid. This nondescript and socially acceptable form of privacy directly parallels the cultural shift during the rise of digitized music.
What's going on with AI right now is exactly what happened when Napster came out in 1999. College kids started sharing MP3s, the labels didn't know what to do about it. You had artists like Metallica suing people. Everybody went insane, and the music business just completely fell off a cliff. And they really never figured out what to do until streaming, years later.
What's different about digital infrastructure today, however, is that as technology has aided in combating piracy, it also is a part of the solution to prevent it.
Before sending a DMCA takedown notice, here are some things you should know. First, the DMCA addresses copyright infringement only. The takedown process should never be used to remove material that is not infringing on a copyrighted work that you own or legally represent. For example, you may have legal recourse against material that is embarrassing, harassing, or critical, but the DMCA does not apply.
DMCA takedowns have become the most efficient way to fight digital piracy on a large scale. At the same time, AI's inability to take into account the surrounding details render these tools more like a sledgehammer than a scalpel. These processes, called DMCA takedowns, are entirely automated and occur nearly immediately when the video is posted into YouTube's algorithm. Essentially, when a video enters the system, it's screened for containing any audio or visual content that is owned by a different party. But there's no room for subjectivity or speculation. YouTube locates the infringing clip, which results in either demonetization of the video or blocks it altogether. DMCA takedowns are ruthless and can have real effects on the people and their sources of income if it's taken away from them. It seems like we need less sledgehammers and more scalpels. AI is without a doubt an extremely powerful tool in creating content and pushing boundaries on what it means to entirely own something. But if AI becomes more of an adversary than a supplement of content creation, what purpose is it truly serving? As artificial intelligence becomes both better understood and more effective at creating original content, it becomes abundantly clear that both legal and societal expectations need to evolve alongside it as well.